Okay, all of us drive south out of Smithfield and we pass Leigh's Marketplace, and we just take it for granted that we have this great grocery store really close for when we need stuff at the last minute. But if you go back to where it started, it actually started one block straight west of here. Harry Griffiths built an ice house. That's when they used to have to freeze the ice and then deliver it to the ice boxes all over town. And he built out, it's a little yellow building there just south, across the street from our current museum. Henry Mickles and Sons took it over, and then later on in 1942, Jack Alsop and his wife and Leigh Bear and his wife bought, it was called at the time Smithfield Ice and Cold Storage. So the cold storage was sort of like what Lowers were talking about. They had all these big, this is before people had freezers in their house, so they had these big lockers. And they added to it by Jack and Leigh started cutting and wrapping meats, especially when people went deer hunting or if they'd raised a pork or something. And then they would store them in their lockers there. It was a monthly rental fee. But then things changed in the 40s. Like everything else, it changed. And so they had, people started getting their own refrigerators. They didn't need the ice anymore. And after World War II in the late 40s, people started getting their own freezers. The grudges are still there. Oh. That's what I thought when you said the grudges were there. Anyways, they, and then people started getting their own freezers after World War II. And so then the storage lockers weren't as popular. And so after they'd owned that business for 7 years, they needed to change because everything was changing. And so they decided to start turning it into a small, well, actually Jack bought it out from his brother-in-law, Leigh. And this Leigh is spelled Leigh. So anyways, he bought it out from his brother-in-law, Leigh, and he started turning it into a store. And so they started, bringing grocery products and selling milk and stuff. And so it was about 1949 that really that grocery store started as a grocery store. And then in 65, Jack decided he wanted something bigger, so he went back to his brother-in-law Leigh, and it's Leigh again. And they decided to build this store down here on South Main, and it was where the Dollar Tree is now. So that was Jack and Leigh's, a big lighted sign. It was new, wonderful store, Jack and Leigh's. And then about 6 years later, Leigh died. And so then Jack bought it out again, and now it's just Jack's again. It was Jack's Food Town. And he did that grocery stuff until, it was 1981. And he decided he'd been doing grocery stores for 39 years, and so he sold it to Leigh Badger. And this Leigh is the L-E-E Badger. So Leigh Badger bought the store, and he just ran it as Jack's Food Town for years and years. And he got too small. They said, I don't know if any of you remember, on 14th North, there was a Smith's grocery store there. And it shut down, and he said overnight his business picked up 30%. So he added on to the store and almost doubled the size of it. But then he decided things were changing again, and he wanted a bigger store, because now they were putting pharmacies in the grocery stores, they were putting banks in the grocery stores, scratch bakeries, and things like that. And so he decided to buy the property across the street and move over to there. And when he moved over to his new store, he decided to put his own name on it, Leigh. So what started as Jack's Food Town is now Leigh's Marketplace that we enjoy shopping at.